great musician. Anyway, that's the bridge, and like I said, these saddles were originally wood, and when we made the last one for Lou, there was some problems. The string was digging into the saddle too much. So Pete says, well, why don't we take some of that material that we use for making the nuts, the bone, and we'll put a piece on top of the wood, and it'll probably work better. It won't sink in, So yeah, it's originally my idea. Like every time I compliment Pete on something, or Kelvin, or Joe, or anybody, anytime I ever say anything to them, they always tell me, well, it had to start somewhere. Well, yeah. So I guess I started it, But I can assure you, people like Pete, Kelvin, Joe, and Mike Parisi, people have been through it in the past, Bruce Hoheb, a lot of people who came through my life and through the shop were far better woodworkers than I could ever possibly dream of being, I guess I just had ideas, and I kind of made them work, But like I said, these guys make them work a whole lot better. That's it for this one. Yeah, and this one is the same guitar. I mean, it's the same scale length. And it's a little heavier because of the woods. It's a little denser. You got Coca-Cola there, and this beautiful curly maple. I know when Stu, when I first showed it, he went crazy over the maple, And for you people who want to know where I get maple like this, there's a little company called Woodcraft Supply. You have a number on here, Pete? Yep. Hey, if you want to call, if you guys out there, anybody out there making these instruments and you want to get some nice maple, like I said, I used to go out and climb up and down all kinds of places and looking for wood. And I'd spend hours and days sometimes looking for wood in some of these suppliers that I used to go to. I'd come back with a couple little pieces. Well, I don't feel like doing that anymore. And thank God for people like Woodcraft and Exotic Woods down in New Jersey and this year's Mercantile. I get a lot of stuff from these people that are really cool. Anyway, Woodcraft Supply. 800 number is 800-225-1153. And yeah, if you people want to get a catalog from them, anybody out there who's making instruments or wants to fool around with playing with wood, that's a good place to know. You can tell them Carl Thompson recommended. They know me. Anyway, curly maple, tuning machines too. Hip Shop. Yeah. Really nice. Jason, you want to get some nice things, call Jason out at Hip Shop. And that number's all over the world. That's in every magazine you can find. And pretty much the same. Everything's the same. It's just different wood. It's the same bridge. This one's, like I said, is a little heavier. And I might add, a little more expensive too. Because this one we just made because I had the wood here, and I said, well, let's make another one just in case Lou might want this one, I'm not sure, So anybody out there who wants a nice guitar, if Lou doesn't want one of these, or if he doesn't want either one of them, there'll be 2 guitars for sale, or 1, or maybe none. Anyway, we got enough of this, right? Who carved? Did you carve both of them, Pete? Did you carve both bodies?
Yeah.
Oh, put the camera on Kelvin. Kelvin, been with me, what, how many years? 12, 13 years?
12.
Yeah. And Kelvin's a great carver. I mean, he does all that nice work, You carved the necks and everything?
I think I definitely did both bodies. I think I did both necks.
Yeah.
Pete might have done one of the necks. You did the neck on the maple one, right? Yeah.
Because everybody talks about
Pete
the
and I both
scrolls and
carved.
all. They talk about all that fancy carving. Well, at one time I did a lot of it, yeah. But I haven't, quite truthfully, I haven't done any of this stuff for years. I just let it up to Calvin and Pete because they do it so well. I got enough to do just doing what I do. If I had to do all that on top of it, the waiting list wouldn't be 3 or 4, it'd be more like 20 years, Because it just wouldn't be. It would be very hard to do that. And that's it. Joe, you got Joe. Joe's the youngest member here, and how long, Joe? 2 years.
About 3.5.
Yeah. And Joe's doing a lot of work. Joe laid all the wood out, right? You did all the layout for these things too, right? Yeah, pretty sure.
Some of it on those guys.
Yeah. And he makes all the small parts too, the nameplates, the nuts, and footballs, and Joe can do the whole thing. It's just that everybody has a little thing they do here, and that's Joe's great at laying stuff out, gets it all cleaned up, gets all the boards square, pickup covers, all that kind of stuff, and it works. And then it comes to me and I spit on them.
And you're good at it.
And curse them. I was here a couple of nights on these things, like 10, 11 o'clock at night here, man. It's nuts, trying to get these strings to work. And the strings were, I won't even mention the name of these strings because they'd probably come after me. But I went through about, how much? I spent like $150, $175.
Yeah, we
I would
bought
say, yeah.
about 10 sets of strings.
Yeah, we went through a lot. Then I went and got those extra things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like, this $150, $200, almost $175, just getting the strings from this major company, String Makers to the Stars and all that crap. What they should do is call Larry out at DeQuisto. Get some real strings. You want to get real strings? Call DeQuisto and talk to Larry. And you tell him Carl sent you. That guy. That was Jimmy DeQuisto who started that company. And Jimmy, if you don't know who Jimmy DeQuisto was, he was the real deal. That was the guitar maker. And he started that string company, and Larry tells me Jimmy was there every day, checking things and making sure. And it shows. Anyway, that's enough. What should I leave them with? Some really nice message?
Something profound and deep.
Something profound and decent. Let me see. It's a far, far better thing I do than I've ever done. It's a far, far greater rest I go to than I've ever known. You know what that's from? No? You ever hear Charles Dickinson? Or Charles Dickens, I'm sorry. Tale of Two Cities. That was Sidney Cartman. He was the guy they were going to guillotine. And that's what that was the last thing in the book. 'Tis a far greater rest I go to than I've ever known. Yeah. He was going for the big one. And they did. If you did, that's a nice movie made of that. Did you ever see the movie?
No.
Oh yeah, it was a very nice movie. Yeah. Ronald Colman played Sidney Cartman. Back in the days, whenever they had people doing impressions like Rich Little and all those, Frank Gorshin and all those guys, anybody who ever did an impression of Ronald Colman, that's the speech that they did. Just a far, far better thing. He was like a real British, that big. Anyway, that's it. And it is a far better test. It's a far better rest. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Shut it off, Pete.